Good morning all. So today I am going to talk about the vertical transportation design deliverance in iconic buildings. I have taken a case study of Central Vista building, which is the National Administrative Complex of Indian administration, housing very important buildings. And this actually is an existing building which is almost close to 100 years now. 1931 it was designed, and now they have done the redevelopment. So during my presentation I am going to run about the history of the design principles done then back then, and how they are going to redevelop this whole project, and what are the guiding principles behind the design, and after that how we have integrated vertical transportation based on the needs of various buildings, and what are the design challenges we have faced, and of course as vertical transportation consulting firm, how, whether it is a small building or a very tall building, how the design deliverance changes from building to building, we'll just see. So ours is Lavinier consultancy. We deal in vertical transportation consultancy and various residential, commercial, and India, as you know, as a global market, which is second only next to China, which is the largest, second largest market in the world. And very varied challenges, design challenges we face, whether it is IT parks, whether it is tall residential buildings. And we also publish a magazine called a Lavinier Elevator Digest. We closely publish quite a few articles from Lift and Escalator Symposium, erstwhile sessions as well. So coming to vertical transportation design deliverance in iconic buildings. This is the Central Vista building, which has old parliament, new one, and new parliament, and there are a lot of administrative complexes. So birth of Central Vista in 1931 as the center of administration of India, designed by then leading British architects Edwin Lutyens and Herbert Baker. And it comprised of multiple buildings, namely Rashtrapati Bhavan, which is the President's residence and office, Parliament House, North and South Block, and the record offices, and India Gate Monument, and the gardens in Rajpath in New Delhi. So architects Herbert Baker and Edwin Lutyens, they designed this particular total plan with using traditional urban planning instruments, featuring a strong axis in sense of emphasized focal point, a definitive termination point, and a formation of important nodes in between. This is the old Parliament building, how it looked then. Then the development and redevelopment. What exactly is the objective? It is to improve the productivity and efficiency of the administration by providing highly functional and purpose designed office infrastructure, especially in terms of creating modern workspaces, construct green buildings, sustainable development, and clean transportation. So these are a few of the buildings, like a National Museum, Indira Gandhi National Center for Arts, India Gate Monument. So the guiding principles for Central Vista development or redevelopment master plan. One is to ensure that they were restoring the original symmetry in terms of the buildings existing, and adding few buildings like, you know, Vice President Enclave, Prime Minister's Residence, National Museum, then Common Central Secretariat, and the new Parliament building. The other guiding principle was strengthening the functioning of legislature, being designed to be the first purpose designed parliament for independent India, equipment with state of art infrastructure to meet all the needs of expanded parliament. So improving productivity and efficiency of administration was also a very key element. So you can see the change from the old design to new design, which is modern and contemporary, with more modern technological features as well as adequate amenities. Then it was important to ensure that, you know, you conserve and rejuvenate the cultural and heritage facilities, get them all together and house in ultra modern complexes like National Archives of India, And to further the cultural agenda, Indira Gandhi National Center for Arts would work for. Also, because it's a very highly dense and very closely, all the VIPs are going to stay and work there, providing adequate and secure infrastructure for all the executive offices. Additional development areas like ensuring environmental sustainability, expanding the public space and extending the entire central vista access. Promoting transit-oriented development was a key feature. So, automated people mover, approximately 3.1 kilometer length, constructed underground, connecting the entire axis of the Central Vista building, providing connectivity to the existing metro networks. And we had to ensure that vertical transportation design was seamlessly integrated with horizontal transportation to ensure, proper efficient reach to the destination flows. The vertical transportation design considerations were to ensure that we align with the guiding design principles of the redevelopment. Then need-based design based on building requirements. When I say need-based design, these buildings were not very tall, like ground plus 2, ground plus 3, but each building has a different need. Like Central Vista Parliament building was very large in expanse. So we need to ensure that the elevators are placed right to ensure that the access from any corner of the building is easily done. Then eco-friendly features, then seamless integration with horizontal transportation was one more key consideration. So just to say that vertical transportation design was made integral part of comprehensive gate to seat concept. Then placement of lifts for efficient circulation was given importance. Then special application lifts like VIP residences, we had bunker lifts. Then National Archives, we had a lot of old manuscript and books where you had to design a proper trolleys and all, where your books can be carefully carried up and down. What are the design challenges we have faced? Usually what happens, I am sure it is globally also very relevant, in the sense like architects do design, and when they design, when it comes to vertical transportation, you have very limited space to include the number. Earlier also one of our speakers was saying that how many lift shafts are required, whether we are able to provide it adequately, whether the size of the lift shafts is okay or not. We had a challenge in terms of the lift shafts sizes were fixed. We couldn't do much. We had to accommodate the kind of whatever the best we could do, we have to do within the limited spaces available. Then this magnitude of the project, what happens is that there are quite a number of multiple agencies, like you have a design firm, you have an architectural firm, you have the project managers, you have the owner, which is the government, and all these agencies, and the design discussions or the design development per se was quite limited, where we could not put across as much as we would have wanted to. Then the data availability was limited. Specifications, of course, though as consultants, vertical transportation consultant, we do specify for the projects, but here the specifications were mostly designed and driven by the principles of the architects based on the building philosophy. So whatever we could do with our limited resources, we were able to do this. So just to give you a basic thing of a new parliament building, if you take, the number of floors are not many, basement, ground plus 2 floors, offices, population of 4,000 was given. We had to design because it's only 4 floors with machine roomless design. Right now it is operational, and just the first session has happened day before yesterday in the new parliament building. So this is a bird's eye view of how the elevators, as I was earlier saying, that passenger elevators, there are 5 sets, 2 elevators each of 16 passenger, 1 meter per second, placed strategically to ensure that everybody accesses, and VIP elevators for the ministers and prime ministers, then for the speakers of Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, and near the canteen you have a kitchen lift, which is one is a clean lift, one is a garbage elevator. This is the maximum of the lift. Limited design spaces we have got, and we tried to accommodate more whatever efficient design we could do. So having said this, design deliverance in iconic buildings could be of national importance, like a new parliament building, or it could be a 75 floor residential tower which we are doing in Mumbai. It's 75 floor tall, where the design consideration are quite different. These are high-end luxury large apartment complexes, where what we used to do as per the National Building Code of India, we consider for a 4-bedroom apartment or a 5-bedroom apartment this many number of people. But the design considerations are now changing a lot, because the people who are residing the apartment is one lot, but there are a lot of at least 2 house helps, 2 to 3 cooks, 2 drivers. All these people, where are the service elevators which need to be provided in that building to ensure efficient service? And you have outside services like your food, grocery, other household item deliveries, all these things to have to happen. Then there is a new design thinking saying that pet elevators have to be provided. Pet elevators, you may be a pet lover, I may not be a pet lover, so how do the pets go up and down in the passenger elevator or service elevator, or can we provide a separate pet elevators, which can be done here? And the architects here were asking me for a very large, like a 3-ton elevator in a residential building. A 3-ton elevator in a residential building, when I asked them why, then I learned that they need to carry a piano, which is a single piece and it can't be dismantled and rearranged later. So whether they use the piano is a different story, but yeah. So design deliverance in iconic buildings has actually changed a lot of phases, like it's not only just traffic study, it's our experience and our generally common sense. All these put together ultimately adds to a proper vertical transportation design deliverance in iconic buildings. I have 1 more minute. Any questions, please? Thank you.